of the pitch is Luke towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. And he's pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli.
Oh, hello.
So I got to ask you a question, Rick.
Well,
why is it that I have a tremendous migraine just before we go in the air? Any particular reason for that?
You got to, see, you have the same setup. Now, I got to have a new computer. I got all these gadgets hooked up here to try to get on there. And so...
Is your pacemaker hooked up?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Wait a minute. No, but that's why, Tom. So, I mean, now I got it. Now
you're in. You know what the hell you're doing. Hey,
yeah.
I got to tell you guys something.
That was less painful than I thought it was going to be, actually.
So,
thank God
I am not a big tech guy, as Lou and Rico know. But a little backstory. Do any of you guys own the new Apple Watch, the Apple 11 watch?
No.
Okay.
My wife does.
Well, let me tell you something. Rico, I want you to pay attention to this. So I went to my yearly checkup to my cardiologist because I have RA. Young guy, great guy, surgeon, phenomenal. And he said to me, I'm going to give you one piece of advice. All I'm going to tell you is if you can afford it, buy yourself an Apple Watch. And I said, why? This Apple Watch, I can press a button and it gives me an EKG. I can press another button. It tells me exactly what my heart rate is, all of that stuff. I can take my blood pressure. I press another button, and at night, it tells you exactly what your sleep pattern is, how many hours you slept, how many REMs, how many deep sleeps, all of that. Then it tells you get a notification, like, for instance, I bike. And I bike about 60 miles a week.
3 wasted minutes. Go ahead.
So listen, Rico. This could save
who cares?
your life.
Who cares?
Anyway, make a long story short. I'm going up a hill on my bike, and I get a notification because my heartbeat per minute went up to over 100. Now, which is normal for if you're biking or working out. But I'm telling you, Rico, you're the last guy that should not be paying attention, especially since you have a pacemaker in your heart.
That's why I have it. I don't need that crap. Come on,
like,
okay.
You can only take the horse to the trough. You can only take the horse to the trough. Anyways, that's my recommendation. Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
We've got Doug Keating in the house. Doug,
hey Tom, good to be here.
Doug. How are you, Doug? Doug from Cardboard Promotions, our good friend. Al Crisafulli is here for the whole hour. Love the game auctions. He's got his auction going on, a lot of stuff going on. Doug, but let's talk to you first. You've got what do you got coming up for shows? You got shows every month?
Almost every week.
Really?
We have I'm taking this coming week off, but we got 2 shows the following week. Friday at Thanksgiving at the Envision Hotel in Mansfield. That's when I originally started back in 1991, freshman in college. That's over 100 tables. And a couple autograph guests, Derek Sanderson, Sam Horn, and Roland James from the Patriots. And then 2 days later, we're at the Solomon Pond Mall in Marlboro, Sunday on November 30th. Johnny Busick, Rick Middleton, and Cedric Maxwell. And that one's free admission, so over 100 tables.
So you're in Mansfield. You're in, where was the second one?
Solomon Pond Mall in Marlboro.
And do you have a couple of other venues that you use periodically?
Yeah, well, the show this past weekend, Emerald Square Mall, it's actually the largest show I ever ran. It was about 190 tables, and we had a great attendance this past weekend.
And where was that?
Emerald Square Mall in North Attleboro.
Yeah. Okay.
That's typically a 2-day show. And cardboardpromotions.com is a website for anybody who want to look us up. And lastly, with the Holiday Inn in Dedham, we're back there Sunday, December 7th.
So you've got about
So,
4 or 5
we're busy
venues.
schedule.
Got great shows. He's got
Yeah,
really.
you do. You know something?
I've done a couple.
The first show I ever did was with Rico. Rico, how many years ago was that? When Ellen, I met you for
25,
the
30
first
years
time.
ago,
No,
I
was
think.
serious, about 18 years
No.
ago.
Yeah, it's a long
18,
time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
We met you for the first time. You were doing an appearance signing, and Ellen and I were doing a book signing on our first book. Hey, Doug, about your signees, where do you how do you line them up? Obviously, you don't go through the big agencies, do you? Or do you have a relationship with all of them and you just line them up directly?
If I have an existing relationship, sometimes it's a handshake deal. I deal with them directly, such as Rico. And if it's the first time I dealt with someone or a really, really big name, yeah, I go through an agency. There's a formal contract involved. But I've been in the hobby a while, so I've got some connections.
It's really good.
Rico, when was the last time you were at one of Doug's shows? Not too long ago, right?
No, not too long ago at the mall. In fact, it was terrific. Man, they had the whole center, almost the whole center with all the tables, and a great place to sign. And it went perfectly. Really, no, not because he's here, because it was an excellent show. I've done.
Like, what is the mix typically? Modern, vintage, a little of both? Is it mostly vintage? Because I mean, I think you're a vintage guy, aren't you?
Just in the last year, it went from about no Pokemon, and now over the third of the show is just Pokemon. And Rico probably noticed that too.
Yeah. It was incredible.
And I wish we had more vintage sports card deals, but there's not a lot of vintages out there, so there's not a lot of vintage deals. But we have a decent amount of vintage sports cards, and obviously a lot of the newer sports cards and memorabilia. It's a good mix.
A lot of modern, ultra modern stuff.
Yeah, I know there's modern and there's ultra modern stuff that was produced in the last 12 days. Everybody's welcome.
Like you're just kind of embracing it. Whatever the trend is, you're just kind of embracing it. You're not fighting up.
Yeah, it's like that. I know this is not really a Pokemon show here; it's more sports, but I'm trying to embrace that Pokemon trend too.
You see the kids with the father or mother right at the Pokemon. Yeah. And that's good to bring him in, but we got to get him in the cards too and other stuff.
I know Al will appreciate this, but if you you wait long enough, by the end of the day there'll be another manufactured rarity, one of one, with some player, right?
Yeah, I told you, the one-on-ones are getting gimmicky.
It's become a joke. It really, Al. I know that you have very similar feelings. Let's put it that way, but it's really becoming absurd as to some of the stuff that they're coming out with. Go ahead, go for it.
I mean, I don't mean to denigrate what anybody likes to collect, I just would rather buy something that's the only example because it's the only one that survived than to buy something that is one of 10,000 of one thing that they made. They made one example of Derek Jeter's card and one example of Derek Jeter's card in gold foil and one of Derek Jeter's card in silver foil and one in,
with his jock strap. And,
right. It just crazy. It doesn't do anything for me. And look, we picked up a huge collection and I have a giant box of insert cards. There's got to be 3,000 insert cards of from various issues, all of them very rare. In this, so it's just not for me. It's not what I collect.
Doug,
what about for the hobby guys? Are you finding that the markets are crossing, or they stay pretty much segregated, or is it helping other markets? In other words,
I feel like, look, I think that anything that draws people into the hobby is good for the hobby. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the latest shiny thing or, the most obscure 19th century issue. It brings people in and makes them a part of this. So I laugh at it, but I don't mean to sound like a jerk. I mean, when I was a kid, I got into the hobby by buying packs of cards of the players that I knew.
Sure.
You know, the thing that drew me in when, I still remember the very first pack of cards that I opened in 1977 and got a Rod Carew, and Rod Carew was like, he was like the greatest in my mind.
That's a great pull.
Great.
That's a great pull.
Pulling that card out of my first pack sold me on the hobby.
Yeah, I can see
Here I
that.
am, almost 50 years later, still doing this thing because of that card. So, if somebody pulls some shiny Ichiro card or Mike Trout card or Aaron Judge or whoever, and that brings them in,
then you're good for that.
Who am I to say that that's bad?
Doug, are you a collector?
To some extent.
Like is there anything that you lean towards?
When I was growing up in the 80s, I collected Fernando Valenzuela and Ricky Henderson. I still think I have all those cards. Fortunately, they both passed away in the last couple of years, and now it's a matter of finding the space and the at my house and the time,
of course,
to collect. So I collect a little bit, but I lean towards the vintage.
All right, so so the next show is the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Friday after Thanksgiving.
Friday after Thanksgiving, and what's the location again?
In Mansfield, Envision Hotel.
Okay, and how can people reach you? What's your website?
Yeah, the website
address?
is www.cardboardpromotions.com.
Cardboard Promotions.
Yeah, cardboard like baseball cards promotions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it online.
All right, good. All right, Doug. Good luck.
Doug.
Good luck at the next one.
Thanks. Good seeing you
next month.
Good seeing all you. Thank you.
Take care.
Right.
All right.
Doug Keating from Cardboard Promotions. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Okay, Al, Mr. Crisafulli.
Let's shake it.
A lot going on. We're real busy. We got some big announcements coming up in the next. When is it? Next week? The week after next, we've got Leighton Sheldon coming on as our guest host with Rico and I and Lou. We've got some pretty good stuff that we're going to be doing.
Have I met Leighton? I don't know if I've met Leighton.
Lou used to do a show. What was it called? Leighton's Loft?
Leighton's Loft, yeah.
How long did you guys do that for?
Oh, 2-3 years, maybe. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you did it quite a while. Leighton's a good guy. I like
And
Leighton.
he developed his own media department, and there was no use for that anymore.
And I know that, really. He's got his own podcast now and a couple of other things. He's all over. That guy, he doesn't stop, that guy. He does not stop. He is all over the place. Anyway, so, we have some good stuff coming down the road. And by the way, last week, we started, Rico, you weren't here last week, but we started our new segment called Another Crackerjack Moment. And actually, Lou is pretty popular. Believe it or not, we've got some nice book orders over the course of the week. Yeah, we're very, very happy. But we'll talk about that later. All right, Al, you are in the midst, not in the midst, your auction just started when?
Thursday,
and you've got some really cool stuff. I want to get right into the Players League documents if we can.
Yeah.
I'm writing a piece right now that I've been working on. Actually, it's finished on the Players League. So it's the Northeast Find, it was called. And that is a really, really, really historic piece of memorabilia. You want to give the backstory, right?
Yeah, it's a really interesting story, and a lot of people don't know it, and I think this is what makes it significant is obviously the story. So we're going to go back to 1889 when the Cincinnati Reds petition to get reinstated into the National League, and they become a National League team. This is how they build themselves today as one of the oldest, longest running National League teams with the Braves and the Phillies.
Yep.
But for a few months in 1890, they were actually not a National League team, because what happened was at the end of so you had the Players League, which was founded.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Hold on. I don't want to.
Okay.
I'm going to interrupt you. Just the only reason being, I want to lay the groundwork where back in 1990, this contractor was working on an apartment building, and he was renovating an apartment building, a floor of an apartment building, and there was a storage room. and he called the landlord up and says, "What do you want me to do with all this stuff?" And the landlord said, "Throw it in the dumpster." So he was bringing this stuff out, and he found a box that said baseball content. That's all it said. He opened it up, and boom, now you can continue, Al. That's what was in it.
So 100 years prior to that, okay, because this was in 1890, John Montgomery Ward is a very he's a Hall of Fame player. He's a popular player in his era. He's also very antagonistic to ownership, and what he does is he doesn't like the fact that baseball has a reserve clause, which ties a player to his team, and so he forms a union, and then he helps to create a whole new league to bring players into this league, the Players League, which had no reserve clause. That was kind of the point of it, right? And so the Players League in 1890 becomes a legitimate competitor with the National League and the American Association.
As a matter of fact, a lot of National League players jumped to the Players League, and the National League had to scramble to get players from other leagues to fill in their gap.
Yeah, and some of the biggest names in the game went to the Players League.
Right.
So all three of the major leagues in 1890 had a difficult time of it, but the Players League actually probably did the best. They had the biggest names, and so now we forward to the end of the 1890 season, and the Players League decides, okay, we want to strengthen for next year, so we're going to get rid of our worst performing team, which was in Buffalo, and we're going to replace them by buying the Cincinnati Reds.
Correct.
Okay, so the John Montgomery Ward organizes this consortium of people to buy the Reds, and they do this transaction, and then the ownership of the team gets spread out among all of the different Players League teams. Okay, and then so the Reds are going to join the Players League for 1891, but then the Players League falls apart and dissolves, and so now the National League wants the Reds back, so they have to scramble, and in a couple of months they have to unwind this complex web of transactions that happened, first to buy the Reds and then to spread the ownership out among all of these people who now their teams don't exist. Okay. And so the Reds were able to, or the league was able to make this happen and get the Reds back into the National League in time for the start of the 1891 season. They did this in just a couple of months. This whole thing happened. And what we have is all of these contracts and court documents and handwritten. I mean, some of these one of the contracts was handwritten on a hotel letterhead, to buy back the Reds. These are handwritten contracts that are signed by the people who were the owners of all of the Players League teams. It's such an incredible piece of historically significant documents. This was a big deal. This was all over the newspapers in 1890. It was a big drama, that this was happening in baseball. And now here we are, 100 years later, they find all of these documents in a storage room in a box.
In a box.
It's pretty amazing. So we have all of those documents.
Very, very, very cool. Very cool.
It's a great story.
And by the way, you know who the original guy was that handled this was our good friend Joe Tomasulo way back. Joe's the one that handled the whole Players League auction at the time.
Yep.
And then what did they do, Al? They must have sold it in pieces, or did they?
This was I don't know if it was one lot or what, if it was made of multiple lots or not, but I feel like this lot is far more historically important than just there's no Hall of Fame autograph in this lot, so there's no shiny thing for people to look at and grab onto. But if you're interested in this story and the history of the Players League, the National League, and the Cincinnati Reds, which has gone on to play such an important role in baseball.
Think of it that with the Players League, after that whole thing collapsed, nothing happened again with the reserve clause until Curt Flood kind of opened up the gates again, at least to get it going. And then another one, Andy Messersmith and those guys, that was another 10 years later. You know what I mean?
The other thing about this that made it really interesting is that part of the drama was about the purchase of the Reds by the Players League in the first place, because the whole point of the Players League was that players couldn't be under contract. You couldn't own a human being, right? And so we're going to start this Players League. But then when they bought the Reds and all of the contracts. So there was this whole backlash about that. About, hey, wait, I thought you couldn't own a human being, and now you just went and bought all these human beings who didn't sign contracts with the Players League, but now they're in the Players League. And
was that when you played the collapse of the Players League, Al? Was that one of the kindling pieces?
I think honestly, I think it was attendance eventually caught up to them. Not just them, but all of them. Attendance really caught up to them. Yeah. Hey, Rico, when you played the whole reserve clause thing? Did players, bitch about the fact that your hands were tied to ownership?
Well, no, they didn't really, get angry at it, but it was just part of the game that, you couldn't do anything about it. Now, if you wanted a contract, say, get a raise, a little bit more money, and they said, forget it, go home. And that's it. You don't play.
And you had no recourse. Nothing you could do.
Nothing you could do. That's it. No. It was true. They owned you, and but you adjusted.
So none of you guys had agents then, right? At the time?
No way. Yeah.
How quickly did you guys assemble behind Curt Flood when he started to challenge the reserve club?
Right away, but when it was Marvin Miller. Marvin Miller was the guy who really got it going. I mean, Curt was great, going to court and everything. But and the owners had just so much power, they weren't going to overturn it. And so Marvin Miller, man, he came to spring training and told us, they make this how much money? Look how much the NBA makes. $80,000 a year is average. What? We go, what? 80,000. Holy jeez. Football was
amazing.
19,000. The football players were
19 grand.
19 grand average. And of course hockey was even less.
It's amazing to think that we're about to probably go into another work stoppage in baseball over these issues that we're still, we've got documents that are 150 years old in this auction that are dealing with the same issue.
Same thing.
They just kick the can down the road every 10 years or whatever.
Absolutely.
And here we are again, maybe
crazy,
talking about
crazy stuff.
Work stoppage.
Hey, Al, before we take a break, talk to us about this Babe Ruth gamer. Can you give us a little information on the bat?
Sure. It's a Louisville Slugger 250 model. Which represented its highest quality of wood, right? Most of the gamers were 125. This is 250. Ruth is known to have swung the 250 bats. We've sold one of these before. Yeah. This one has been graded by Mears. It's an A7. Beautiful bat. It's in pretty good shape, but it's got a lot of restoration to it. So it displays really well. So it's a pretty cool piece.
All right, listen, we've got the whole hour with Al. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with another crackerjack moment. And then Al Crisafulli is ours for the rest of the show. Hang in there, and we shall return. Rico, you okay there?
Yeah. I'm listening. That was great stuff. I read a couple of books on that. And
it is good.
I know what you're going to say. I was actually there. I know you.
I was not going to say that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, hang in there. We'll be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. Al Crisafulli's in the house. Rico's in the house. Rico made it on time. We're very, very proud of him. Louie's in the house. And it's time right now for another Cracker Jack moment. Last week, we started this. As I mentioned last week, we got a call from our book distributor. And at the warehouse where all of our books are stored, they found 4 cases of Cracker Jack books. Now, we wrote the Cracker Jack book, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, 8 years ago, myself, Ellen, and John Mallory. We won the Ben Franklin Silver Medal. It's a great book. We had a lot of fun making it. So we are going to be doing these Cracker Jack moments that Lou and I did years ago. And you can go to the website, tomzappalamedia.com, and the books are on sale. So right now,
Beautiful book.
we're taking one player a week. This week's another crackerjack moment is Heine Zimmerman. Heine Zimmerman could have gone down in baseball annals as one of the greatest third basemen, one that certainly could have been considered entrance into the Hall of Fame. Instead, he represents everything that a player should not be. The great Zim, as he was known during his days as an impact player, eventually wasted what could have been a truly great career. In 1912, Zimmerman took over as starting third baseman for the Cubs after the sudden death of Jimmy Doyle from appendicitis. That proved to be a watershed year for Zim, as he led the league with his .372 batting average, 207 hits, a .571 slugging percentage, and 14 home runs, and led in several other categories. Although he had a total of 300-year seasons and played on the 1907 and 1908 World Championship teams, Zimmerman was always surrounded by controversy. The suspicion that he threw games and took bribes saddled him for his entire career until he was finally banned for life in 1921 by Commissioner of Baseball Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis. There are many examples of the indiscretions on the part of Zimmerman, including purposely muffing a rundown in the decisive game of the 1917 World Series, although some take issue with the allegation. Then there's the fact that he batted .120 in that same series. Zimmerman was also indirectly implicated in the 1919 Black Sox scandal. The fatal flaw that contributed to his final demise was that Zimmerman had a problem holding on to money. He was always broke because of his penchant for spending money on extravagant things. His association with the likes of Hal Chase during his playing days and the notorious gangster Dutch Schultz outside of the lines did not help his reputation either. All in all, the great Zim turned out to be a major black eye for the game. He later operated a mob-connected speakeasy and worked as a plumber and steam fitter. And that's another crackerjack moment. So remember, you can go to tomzappalamedia.com if you want to buy the book. Lou, do we have the website there or not? We don't not have
I don't have it up right now, but I can get it up for you.
Yeah, if you can get it up.
You gotta, hey, Tom,
it's on sale, by the way. It's on sale.
Yes. Oh, it's a great book. By the way, yeah, you could write another book on the present day, the present day players.
Right? Some of the discretions that's going on right now. Yeah, you're right, Rico.
Crickets. It's
so
shocked.
right.
I really am.
Al, some of the other highlights, though. What do you get for some of the other highlights?
I think that the Reds piece is my favorite, but there's two cards in there that are just significant. The lot number one is it's the greatest Z-Nut. It's a 1933 Z-Nut Joe DiMaggio in high grade with the coupon and a period autograph on the back. It's impossible that this card even exists. It's the second highest graded example. It's a PSA 4. Yep. Okay, and it's got the coupon on the bottom, which is really only about 2 to 3% of the surviving Z-Nuts have the coupon on the bottom. And then it was signed on the back by a rookie, pre-rookie Joe D. And that card is an unbelievable card. If you were to ask me, what is the single greatest Z-Nut, I can't think of one that's better than that. And then the other one that I love is the Aguilitas Oscar Charleston, 1924-25 Charleston. Yep. We had the Tomas Gutierrez Charleston in our last auction, which broke our own record for the most money paid for any Negro Leagues collectible at all at $250,000. This Charleston is just a fantastic card, and I'm thrilled to have this one in the auction too. So,
I was just thinking the DiMaggio card. I don't know if you know that much about people who want to sell them, but is there a tendency for people who are Yankee fans to get, buy Yankee cards, Boston fans, or does it matter? Just collectors in general.
I think there's some of that, Rico. I mean, because you have some partiality to the players who are on your team, but then you have this upper tier of people, Ruth, Gehrig, Ted Williams, DiMaggio, people who were just, they sort of transcend all of that. Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Rico Petrocelli. They're the
Wow.
they're these guys that
Yeah.
that are up on a different tier, where they're more representative of the entire sport, and everybody wants their stuff. It's not just Yankee fans chasing after Babe Ruth.
It's not fair, Al. I'll be honest with you. Why don't the people want to go for the worst players? Stan Pappy, no.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Stan.
Dropping names.
Rico
I had a
Petrocelli.
Rip Rapolsky. That was my first card.
You know that, Al, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, a Rico Petrocelli PSA 10 in Heritage Auctions sold for $12,000.
This doesn't surprise me. I mean, first of all, what year was it?
67.
No, it wasn't 67. Rick, was it?
I don't know.
I don't either. No, I think it was. I want to say it was 69. What was the year you hit the 40?
Oh yeah, 1969.
69. I think it was a 69 Petrocelli
The only
PSA
thing
10.
is, it was taken with the glove. Now, usually, when you took it, when they take a picture with the glove, you didn't have too good a hitting year the year before. When they hit the picture with the bat, they say, "Boy, I had a good year." So I don't know.
Yeah. No, this is I mean, Rico is a Boston Red Sox hero. He's a hobby hero, and the cards are tough to find in high grade. So,
well, look, the only thing that I did, what you can't even put me with other guys who were great. I was the first shortstop to hit 40 home runs.
Yeah,
period.
Shortstop with power.
Yeah, and that's it. That's my.
Because wasn't the school of thought before Cal Ripken was that if a shortstop, tell me if I'm wrong about this, a shortstop couldn't be too big. Like if you were too big, you were too big to move around and have the range for that position. It was really Ripken that redefined that. So a shortstop with that kind of power was not something that you got a lot of.
Well, right? The best was Louis Aparicio, and Louis was he could run, a great fielder, and kind of a line drive hitter.
You just couldn't round third. That's all.
Huh?
You just couldn't round third.
You remember that? Oh God!
But wait a minute. When Louis came to Boston, which one of you moved? Was it you or was it him?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved to third.
Rico moved to third, but there's a backstory there, Al. Backstory, and Rico, correct me if I'm wrong here. The backstory was originally the Red Sox were trying to get Ron Santo to play third.
Yeah,
and they weren't able to do that. Then they had the opportunity to get Aparicio, and then Rico was gracious enough to move to third, or else he was going to get his ass on the bench. So,
no, that's Louis Aparicio getting him. I said, wow, he was
Louis. How did you and Louis work together?
Good, yeah. We were. Louis was a great teammate. He had a great sense of humor. And he played hard every game. He played every game, and unless he had real bad injury. But it was towards the end of his career.
Yeah,
and he had a little tough time hitting. He beat my 0 for 32. He went 0 for 44, and he got a letter from at that time President Nixon. Yeah, say hang in there. Yeah, hang in there. The reason was because of the oil, the trade in Venezuela had a lot of oil, and it was either exporting or importing, whatever it was. But that was the the talk at the time.
How many years did you play alongside him?
2 years. Yeah, he was there for 2 years, and
how much experience did you have at third, and how tough was the transition?
Well, it was tougher than I thought. And especially with some of the big power hitters up there. And who was one of the toughest to hit is a guy who had power, but also could run and bunt. So you were back and forth, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he'd rip one at you, you know, and whoa, the spin on the ball was.
Well, I mean, the ball comes at you a lot faster too, Rico. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Did you play alongside the bag or behind the bag?
Well, depending on the hitter. Now, when Big Frank Howard, 286'8", I played behind the umpire. Yeah, me and the umpire were trying to. Hey, I want to go behind you.
Rico, did you use your shortstop glove at third?
No.
You had a different glove.
I had a 2000, which was a bigger glove. Yeah. So anyway, that's enough about me. Anyway.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I do.
Can I have it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hey, I want to talk about the Northeast Sports 10,000. The Northeast Sports Expo hits the Boston area this weekend on Saturday, November 22nd and Sunday, November 23rd at the Marriott Boston Quincy in Quincy, Massachusetts. General admission is 9:30 a.m. each day, and you can enter at 9 a.m. Spanning 26,000 square feet of expo space and featuring 180 plus vendor tables. This is New England's biggest card show, packed with sports cards, memorabilia, Pokemon toys, and Funkos. Are those Funko bats or is Funko a toy? It's a weekend for collectors, fans, and families alike. Celebrity guest, U.S. gold medal Paralympian Kip St. Germain, former Boston Bruins player Graham Townsend, Barry Peterson, and Bruce Shoebottom, former U.S. national sled hockey team captain Joe Howard, NHL Network and NESN analyst Billy Jaffe, pro wrestlers Anthony Green and Chase Stevens, actor Mark Bosquet from Slapshot. Oh, I remember, that was a good movie. Also, free raffle entries with every admission, win signed jerseys, photos, and more. Free commemorative posters for the first 200 attendees. On-site authentication by JSA. Event host Saturday with Nick Fitzy Stevens and Sunday with Mike Sarge Riley. That is the Northeast Sports Card Expo this weekend at the Marriott Boston Quincy. Al, what else, baby? What else do you have in this great auction? Because I went through it, man. You get some cool stuff.
Yeah,
cool
this auction is so full of rare type cards, just stuff you don't see every day. We've got a ton of vintage scorecards, World Series programs. There's a lot of basketball in this auction, a lot of tough basketball that you don't see very often. Cons, hot dogs. There's complete basketball sets. We have a beautiful 1948 Bowman George Mikan autographed, which is, it's kind of a holy grail card, which is pretty excellent.
Wait a minute, it's the card autographed?
Yeah.
Wow, that is
Mikan rookie autographed.
Yeah, that is the holy grail of basketball cards.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant card. There's a lot of Cuban cards and Caribbean cards in this auction again. Which is stuff that we love to sell, and we love to bring some of that out, and a ton of 19th century, a lot of old judges, SF Hess, California League cards, lots of that kind of stuff. So it's if you're a collector who likes rare and obscure, this is a great place to go. It closes on the 29th of November, so we're kind of right in the thick of it now, and it should be an exciting finish, I think.
Rick?
Yeah, I wanted to ask all of you actually about. By the way, you got football cards too. With football season, I would think that people would be interested in it. But Al, New England has this kid who's looks like he's going to be a really good. But they're comparing him, I heard, to Tom Brady. I mean, come on now. They buy his card now. Whoa, this kid's going to be great, right? It's a chance. It's a chance.
Yeah.
But it's so ridiculous. I don't know, Lou, how you feel, but don't. How can you compare him at all to Tom Brady?
Well,
Tom Brady was the greatest ever.
You can't compare
him. No, there's talk about.
Well, hold on. A lot of people. Well, hold on. No, a lot of people are not comparing them for careers. They're comparing him with Tom Brady's rookie season. And this kid is right up there
He's good.
Statistically,
I like him.
Now, is he Tom Brady?
I love
Absolutely
Tom Brady.
not. Will he ever be Tom Brady? I seriously doubt it. But his numbers right now at this snapshot in time as a rookie, I mean, they're right up there with Brady's, Lou.
I understand.
What are your thoughts, Lou? Because I know you love Brady.
I am trying so hard to hold back my enthusiasm about Drake May because and he's not Tom Brady. That's ridiculous. He won't be Tom Brady for another 10 years if he gets Super Bowls under his belt. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes and how we were so willing to anoint him. And Brady is just a unicorn because he just did it over 2 decades and won Super Bowls and went to 9 and won 7 Super Bowls and went to 9. And, so comparisons to Brady is silly. But I'm just so enthusiastic about Drake May. I'm trying not to lose it, absolutely not lose it, because this kid throws about 6 balls a game that are just unbelievable.
How does he do it? All right, listen, before we take a break, Al, I'm going to throw this out at you because I know how you feel about speculating, and we've talked about it in the past. So do you know, and this is classic, and this is a perfect example, people, of being careful. Do you know what the number one most graded card was between the years 2016 and 2025? Anybody know what that card is?
I know because I read the notes and it shocked me.
Is it a baseball card?
No. It shocked me too, Lou. But it's a perfect example of why people should really think twice about speculating. I'll tell you what the answer is.
No.
The 2019.
You're not going to do it after the break? So people will stay here instead of turning us off?
Oh, that's called a tease. All right, we'll do that. We'll do that.
I want to know.
That's the first. Hold on, Rico. That's the first intelligent thing you have done and said in a year.
I've been in broadcasting since 1977. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of teaching broadcasting. All kidding aside.
After IT?
Yeah, after my IT education.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and I'll come back with that answer. Per Rico Petrocelli, hang in there. We'll be right back.
All right.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Okay, we are back. Al Crisafulli's in the house, Rico's in the house, Louie's in the house, Tom's in the house. I'm not giving the answer yet until after Lou Reeds tells us about our good friends at the Philly Show.
I don't know which one we're going to. Philly Show is December 12th through the 14th at the Greater Philly Expo Center in Oak, celebrating 50 years of connecting collectors, athletes, and fans. Shop over 600 dealer tables across 150,000 square feet of sports cards, memorabilia, sealed products, collectibles, and expanded Pokemon and TCG section, which now has over 100 tables, from vintage favorites to latest releases. Rating and authentication companies will be on site along with major sports auction houses for submissions, valuations, and appraisals. Kids 10 and under are free along with a paid adult, and active duty military and veterans receive half off admission with proof of service. And don't miss our community trade nights happening Friday and Saturday evening, open tables, great energy, and collectors trading with collectors all night long. Now the autograph lineup with more guests to be announced. Meet current Philadelphia Eagle stars Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, and Brandon Graham. Philly stars and legends of the past Cole Hamels, Larry Boa, and Lenny Dykstra. Baseball Hall of Famers Vladimir Guerrero Sr., Edgar Martinez, Eddie Murray, Tony Perez, Alan Trammell, and Dave Winfield. NBA Hall of Famers Dennis the Worm Rodman and Dominique the Human Highlight Reel Wilkins. Jerome the Bus Bettis will also be appearing. And last but not least, the one and only, do we know this guy? Rico Petroselli.
Rico Petroselli.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the bathrooms and Tom's doing the dusting on the tables.
Al, you're going to be there?
I will not.
You're not going to be in Philly?
No, I haven't done the Philly show in years, and I
Oh.
want to get back there.
We're going to be broadcasting from there.
I would love to get back in there. I love that show. But when
Yeah,
we
it's a
moved to
great show.
You know, when I lived in and the office was based in Jersey, I could get there and get home.
Right.
You know, but when I moved up to New York, it got much more difficult to do that, and so we did the Shriner show up in Boston, and I would like to get in and do a Philly show or two. I don't
Shriner
think
show in Boston. Your guys gobbled up those sandwiches pretty damn quick. I'll tell you that. Holy Jesus! Hey, listen. All right, so now I'm going to give the answer. Again, if you're speculating, be careful because this is a prime example of what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So at the top of the top 100 most graded cards from 2016 to 2025, I hope you didn't cheat. Al, what do you think the card is?
I mean, it's not a baseball card, so I have no idea.
Rick, you have no clue, Rick. You never even heard of this guy. The 2019 Panini Prism base number 248, Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
Perfect example of why you should be careful about speculating.
That's one guy.
Yeah, but that guy, Rico, think about what we're saying here. He's the most graded card in the last 10 years. And after 1 year, he was out. Now he's coming back a little bit, but I mean, forget it.
No, but when you bought it as a rookie, you know, it was cheaper, right?
And you lost your shirt because some of those cards went for $10,000.
I'll tell you a story though. So in the 80s, I have somebody in my life who collected with their father. They bought a lot of cards in the 80s. Same kind of deal. They would go out and learn about who are the biggest rookie, who are the only baseball, but who are the rookies that they should be paying attention to, and they would watch games and they would study stats, and then they would go to shows and buy, big bricks of cards of people like Kevin Seitzer and Greg Jeffries and people like this. And they did this. They spent years doing this together. They put all of this stuff in storage, and then I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, this person went into the storage locker and took all the cards out and brought them home, and looked them all up, and none of them had any value. So he was so angry, and he actually said to me, he said, I can't believe we wasted all of that time. He lost the plot. He spent hours with his dad
that's the
doing
point.
this work.
Okay. Well, okay, I can see that.
Let's not put
the money.
Let's not overemphasize the dollars here.
Good
point.
The
That's dollars is an important thing, right? But spending time with your dad, your whole childhood, doing research into sports and who are the next guys, you're never going to forget that time. Who cares if it's worth money?
Our good friend Joe Marino from Florida, Rico, and I, a good friend of ours. He was on the Greg Jeffries, and he must have 1,000 Greg Jeffries cards.
Sure.
And somebody gave me, I don't know who it was, and God rest his soul, he just passed away, but I must have 500 Mike Greenwell rookie cards.
Oh, really? Sure.
Yeah, sure. In a box. At least 500.
Ellis Burks, and it was another one that was going to be a superhero. We had Kevin Moss in New York. We had, I mean, every team's got guys like that. But
Greg Jeffries was like a Frankenstein. Greg Jeffries was grown in a lab to become a professional
baseball player. Yeah.
Who is the USC quarterback who was the same thing? That I'm blanking on the name. It was kind of like raised as a kid to be a professional athlete, and that didn't turn out well either.
Harmon?
I forget.
How long ago?
Not too long after Jeffries, actually.
No, I don't know. I don't know who that is. But anyway, also the auction ends when?
Auction closes on the 29th, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. You're home. You're off that weekend. You're tired of your family. You want to hold up in your den, close the door, and bid in the auction. Pay attention to sports. It's a perfect day for this.
So when is it? That's it for the year for you? And then
and we come back in the spring.
Yeah.
So we're looking for consignments for our spring auctions. We're already lined up to have some really special stuff coming down the pike in 2026. One of the coolest auctions we've ever had is going to happen. Maybe the coolest that we've ever had is going to happen toward the end of 2026. So it's going to be a pretty exciting year for us. Closing out what this year has been our biggest.
You had a great year this year. You really
how
did.
can you tease us like that and give us nothing?
Cool. I got nothing, but boy, it's going to be fun. We're going to do an auction. We've got an auction coming down the pike that I don't think there's ever been one like this in the hobby that we're.
Ooh, that's a
really,
tease.
it's really cool. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Standalone auction, like we're adding an auction for this.
Nice.
Yeah,
Rico, why don't you tell our good friends and listeners that earn your money about our good friend Charlie Perino and the gang at JRI Cards? Al, this is classic. Watch Rico read this. He reads it like Faulkner.
He's
a
pro.
Hey, I mean, you got it. This is a book here. You got 4 pages. Well, anyway, JM, or Rico, if you want to have an absolute blast.
Hold on, stop. Did you pick up on that, Lou?
Yeah, I did.
I got it.
I crossed it off on my copy. So
right.
Where is
JM is no longer with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
And you don't talk to yourself.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you want to have an absolute blast at obtaining some great modern and vintage cards.
Radio since 1971, remember?
Okay, so I can tell you right now, Charlie Perino, we love you. This is going to be a train wreck. Go ahead.
No, Charlie. Obtaining some great modern vintage cards. You got to check out JRI Cards. Paisan, Charlie, the Iron Ripper Perino, along with Money Marco, the Dollar Girls, and the JRI Gang. This sounds like a freaking mafia group here. Give you the chance to participate in opening a graded, unopened, and sealed fresh wax or cello card pack of your cello pack of your favorite sport or a non-sport favorite. It's easy. You buy in, Charlie opens the pack, and you get a packed fresh card. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, if you pull that special jewel, the guys at JRI Cards will even have it graded for you on the house. Featured in the LA Times, ESPN, and USA Radio, JRI is the hottest card-pulling show on the internet. Charlie and his staff make it fun, entertaining, and enjoyable with his collection of hats and sound effects. And don't forget that JRI donates a part of their proceeds to various charities. That's JRI Cards. Check out their exclusive breaks and events that everyone is talking about. And if you don't buy any cards there, we're going to break your legs and take care of you. So they're always digging up cardboard treasures for a great hobby experience. Seriously, go to jricards.com.
That's not Charlie. Rico.
That took a half hour, didn't it?
Yeah. Rico, Charlie says he's definitely, when we get down to Florida, he definitely wants to take us out to lunch, the two of us. We love Charlie. Charlie's a great guy.
He is.
Al, what did you think of the World Series?
Oh, it was great. I thought it was great. I had my I was hoping that Mattingly was going to get one, and once I got past the fact that the Yankees didn't have the team, they're not built for the postseason. They're not built for the playoffs. They're built for 162 games.
Right.
They're not built for a 7-game or a 5-game series. Once I got past that, I really like Toronto, and I like the way they're built. I like the fact that they play more of an old school brand of baseball where it's not just home runs and strikeouts. They were fun to watch, but man, the Dodgers pitch. So it was a lot. It was a fun World Series.
Game 7. We were talking about it last week, Lou and I put Game 7 right up there, surpassing the 75 Fisk game.
Wow,
I do.
Wow.
I mean, if you think about,
first of all, yeah,
it was a Game 7, number one. When that 75 game was not a Game 7, and then the Fisk home run. I mean, you can't take anything away from that, but it was just one snapshot in the game, Cabo and there were so many twists and turns in Game 7 of this World Series. It was just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I got COVID.
No, as I pointed out last week, there was no Buckner moment. There was no lapses. He was just two teams throwing haymakers at each other.
Yeah, it was two heavyweights just pounding each other.
I got COVID sitting in a bar watching.
I know you
I did. I was. That's what I was doing. I was in one place, and it was time to go. They didn't have a television, and so I was watching the game on my phone. And then it went into it went late. The game went late, and I left the one place, and I was like, I know that they're showing it in that bar, and I went down to the bar, and I got myself a seat, and I sat down, and I got COVID while I was.
Before we break,
I'm curious. Days later, I was like, something's not right.
Do you guys hate the Dodgers because they spent so much? I kind of like this team. I kind of enjoy the hell out of it.
You can't. What, you're talking about the Dodgers?
Yeah.
You can't. I don't dislike the Dodgers. I don't think you can really dislike them because they really work hard. They've got some great players. I mean, that pitcher was just. I mean, you don't see that very often anymore. You just don't see it. Yeah. No, they have a good team, and I like Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts will forever be a folk hero in Boston.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's
Louis,
a
how about our
cancer
friend
survivor too?
Oh, that's right, he is. Lou, how about our friends at Finkelmeyer Insurance?
Mixing up the reads on me, but I happen to have the copy. So.
Oh, sorry.
Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting, and with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management. Tom covers every aspect of your collectibles insurance needs. Unlike some companies that sell collectibles insurance direct to consumers online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tobby of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefia.com, thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
You know, I was just thinking, Louis, when we get to Florida, you've got 3 months where Rico will not have access to having to get on StreamYard because he'll be with me together. Right, Rick?
Well, that's true, but I'm going to take it anyway in case something happens. You get sick or something like that. Not that. You won't get sick. You never get sick.
Rico's got it down.
I got it.
I mean, you have it figured out now.
No, now I'm going to go to and print in StreamYard.com, etc. So that's it, right?
All right. We accept that.
Hey, listen, you had something. It's a Red Sox thing because we know we got a great Yankee fan there about Bregman and the.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, Rick, before we part ways.
Yeah, right. I just quickly.
Should the Red Sox part ways with Bregman and move Maya to third and let Romy Gonzalez play second, hit both? Well, wait a second. Romy hit well against lefties and righties this year. 286 over 300. Why not put him at second and get rid of Bregman?
No way. These guys that are free agents, like the kid for the Mets, they're 31 years old, 31 years old. It's different today. These guys, in the off season, they work out during the season. I mean, they're in great shape. So I would give a guy a 5-year contract for, 31 years old or 36 or 7. I mean, I think they could still produce. So Bregman, that's what I'm talking about, Bregman in particular. I would give him a contract, move the other kid to second base, go out and get a guy that can hit some home runs, knock in some runs.
All right, so now the latest rumor, Lou, I don't know if you read about it today, but the Red Sox are kind of flirting with Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
And either Pete Alonso or Kyle Schwarber. So if they're lucky enough to sign Bichette, Does he go to third and then they let Bregman walk, or does he go to second and Meyer is on the bench?
He goes to second, and Meyer. Well, no, Meyer plays. They let Bregman walk. Meyer goes to third, Bichette second.
Yeah,
third base. But
I think
Alonso and Schwarber.
no, either or.
I was going to say.
Oh no, it would be either or.
It's got to be. It's got to be Alonso. First of all, I want Alonso so badly, but it's got to be Alonso and somebody. They can't just let Bregman go and replace him with Alonso and go from there. It just can't do it.
I agree with that.
You got to get it.
Al, and again, your Yankees are heading in the wrong direction, in my opinion. Although they have a hell of a pitching staff, I have to admit. But I don't know, that team is missing something, Al. They're missing something.
They don't know how to play baseball.
I don't know what it is.
They don't know how to play baseball. They don't know what to do if the ball doesn't go over the fence, or if the batter doesn't strike out. They don't know how to. They haven't had pitchers fielding practice since these guys were in Little League, and they don't know what to do when they're on the bases. Their base running is terrible. They don't know how to hit behind the runner. They don't know how to move guys over. They don't know how to get a guy from second home with no outs.
I don't know. I don't mean this as derogatory as it sounds, but they're a softball team. They play like a men's softball team.
This is what they have. They are built to win 90 games, and because that'll get them into the playoffs, and then they fall apart. They're built to win 90 games, but just the law of averages means that they're gonna score enough runs that they can win 90 games, and they're going to do that with power. But when you get into a short series against a team that's the quality pitching, the best pitching in baseball, the postseason, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do, and so until they actually start coaching these people and teaching them in the minors how to do this stuff.
Got to get some guys on base percentage. Get on base early.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
It's when you look at these guys in the batting order and look at their on base percentage as a team. Judge is great. Judge is great, and Bellinger was nice. But you've got guys with on base percentages barely over 300.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're. Who I like? I like Ryan McMahon at third base, and they say, "Oh, he can catch the ball," and but Aaron Boone doesn't seem to care. He'll put guys out of position. It's like it doesn't matter. He'll just, we've got a guy who's never played third base in his life. Let's put him on third base and see what
I'll tell you what.
We stand on Aaron now because everyone's on Aaron's ass about getting him out of there, and I don't think Aaron's the problem.
I agree. I'm not a big Aaron fan because I don't think his in-game management is particularly good, but I also don't know how much of those decisions, he'll tell you they're all his decisions, but it's everything that you hear that comes from the guys who come up from the minors and who are not with the team anymore. When they interviewed those guys about the Yankees, they're talking about how it's a systemic thing and how they're so driven by analytics that they're even in the minors, they're not taking them through situational baseball. They're not taking them through any of this. It's just how hard can you hit the ball? It's exit velocity and it's launch angle. They play games in the minor leagues that are basically, if you get it, if you hit it over a certain amount of miles per hour, you get a point. And if you don't, the pitcher gets a point. And so what happens if you hit a little ground ball in the hole between the pitcher and the third baseman, or the pitcher and the shortstop, do you know how to beat that out? Do if you're on second base when that happens, do you know what to do? Do you know how to move the runner over with a opposite field ground ball? No, they don't. That's not what they know how to do. So it's either strikeout, home run, and that's it. So I have no confidence.
It was obvious, really. Yeah, I mean, you could just see it.
All right, we're just about out of time. Just remember one thing, Al. Roman Anthony. Remember the name, Roman Anthony. He
sounds like a restaurant.
He's going to be a stud.
Yeah,
Roman Anthony.
Sounds like a restaurant in Little Italy.
All right, listen. We're just about out of time, Mr. Crisafulli. Wishing you the best with your auction. We love you. You do a great job. You're a real credit to the hobby.
Thank you.
And you're you're really well respected, by the way, on Net 54, man. They love you. You're like a god on Net 54. Just all I'm saying.
I'm just so damn handsome. I don't think that they get
God. With that being said, Rico, welcome back to reality. You were able to get on in a timely fashion. We're very proud of you. Louis, thank you for all your help. And to our viewers and listeners, happy collecting.
Bye, buddy.
Take care.
I hate the term.